At first, it looks like a real animal shouldn't look this much like a mascot. Soft fur, a round face, and a big striped tail. People see it and assume it must be gentle, easy to care for, and probably not very wild. That's the misunderstanding. This animal survives in cold, steep mountain forests where food is low in energy and small mistakes can matter. Its daily life is built around saving calories, avoiding conflict, and staying close to the few environments where it can actually thrive. It also gets confused with a much more famous animal, even though the connection is mostly in the name and a few similar habits. Once you understand where it lives, what it eats, and why it behaves the way it does, the red panda stops being just cute. It starts looking like a specialist that survives by following strict rules. Where do red pandas actually live? Red pandas live in mountain forests in Asia. Their range includes parts of the Himalayas and nearby highland regions, with populations in areas of Nepal, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, and China. They are not spread evenly across these countries. They live in patches where the right forest conditions still exist. Most sources describe them as animals of higher elevations, often in cool, temperate forests. The exact elevation range can vary depending on the region, but the pattern is consistent. Red pandas prefer cooler mountain climates compared with many other mammals. They rely heavily on forests with dense cover. These forests provide shelter, safe resting spots, and the tree pathways they use to move around. Red pandas are also closely linked to places where bamboo grows under the trees, because bamboo is their main food. So when people imagine red pandas living in the woods, the more accurate picture is this: steep, cool, bamboo-rich mountain forests, often far from open lowlands. That narrow preference is a big part of why they are vulnerable when landscapes change. What kind of forest does a red panda need? A red panda doesn't just need any forest. It needs a specific setup that supports its entire lifestyle. Most descriptions of red panda habitat emphasize three things: cool climate, tree cover, and bamboo in the understory. Bamboo is central because it provides the majority of their diet. Tree cover matters because red pandas spend a lot of time climbing and resting in trees. Dense canopy also helps keep the forest environment cooler and more humid, which suits an animal adapted to mountain conditions. Another factor is connectivity. Red pandas move through forested areas to find food, mates, and safe resting spots. When forests are broken into separate patches by farms, roads, or development, moving between those patches becomes harder and more dangerous. Even small changes can matter. If bamboo declines in an area, red pandas can't simply switch to a completely different food source long-term. If the forest becomes warmer and more open, red pandas may be forced to rest more and move less. So the right forest isn't optional for red pandas. It's the foundation their survival depends on. What does a red panda eat all day? Red pandas eat mostly bamboo. Many reliable sources describe bamboo as making up roughly 85 to 95% of their diet, and some place it near 95%. They typically eat bamboo leaves and shoots, depending on what's available in their habitat and season. They are not strict bamboo-only animals, though. When opportunities appear, red pandas may eat fruit, berries, flowers, eggs, insects, and sometimes other small food items. These extras can help, but bamboo remains the main part of daily life. The surprising part is that bamboo is low in calories. It looks abundant, but it doesn't provide much energy. That's why red pandas spend a large part of their day feeding or searching for food. They can't eat once and be done. They also eat in a careful, repetitive way. They handle bamboo slowly, choosing parts that are easier to chew and more rewarding. When you see a red panda feeding, you're watching the core survival activity of its entire life. What does a normal day look like for a red panda? A red panda's day is usually a cycle of feeding, moving a little, and resting. The exact schedule can vary with weather and season, but the overall pattern is consistent because of energy limits. Red pandas often increase activity during cooler times and reduce activity when it's warmer. In hot conditions, they may rest more in shaded spots to avoid overheating. In cool conditions, their thick fur helps, but they still conserve energy because bamboo does not provide many calories. They spend a lot of time in trees. Trees are used for resting, safety, and movement. You might see red pandas curled up in branches, resting for long periods, then feeding again when needed. They are generally not loud or dramatic animals. Their life is calm, careful, and repetitive. That's not because they lack ability. It's because their diet and habitat reward predictable, low-risk behavior. A red panda that wastes energy usually loses. A red panda that follows routine usually survives. Why does a red panda spend so much time resting? Resting is not a bonus in a red panda's life. It's part of the survival plan. Bamboo is the main food, but it does not provide much energy. Red pandas also have a relatively simple digestive setup compared with many specialized plant eaters. They are in the mammal order Carnivora, and they do not have the same kind of large fermentation chambers you see in animals built to extract maximum energy from fibrous plants. Because of this, red pandas have to balance their energy carefully. They spend time feeding, but they also need long rest periods to avoid burning more calories than they gain. This is why their movement tends to be slow and controlled. It's also why they avoid unnecessary conflict. If you live on a low-energy food, every extra burst of effort has a cost. Resting also helps with temperature control. Red pandas are well adapted to cool environments. In warmer conditions, resting in shade can prevent overheating. So when you see a red panda resting, it isn't doing nothing. It's doing exactly what keeps it alive. Why does a red panda move so carefully? Red pandas move like an animal that can't afford injuries. Because that's exactly what they are. They are strong climbers and spend a lot of time in trees. Their curved claws help them grip bark and branches, and their body structure supports balancing on narrow surfaces. But they don't rush. They step carefully, pause, adjust, and then move again. This careful movement reduces falls and prevents accidents. In a steep mountain forest, a fall can be fatal or cause an injury that makes climbing harder. And if a red panda can't climb well, it loses access to safety and resting spots. This cautious style also saves energy. Fast movement burns calories, and bamboo doesn't provide many calories. So red pandas often choose precision over speed. They can climb down trees head first, which helps them control their movement in steep terrain. That ability makes it easier to retreat quickly without losing balance. So the careful movement you see isn't a personality trait. It's the result of a lifestyle where energy is limited and mistakes are costly. What is a red panda bad at? Red pandas are not built for speed on the ground. They are not pursuit animals that chase prey over long distances. They are also not built to win frequent fights. Their body plan and lifestyle are shaped more by climbing, feeding, and avoiding trouble. On the ground, they can move, but they are not known as fast runners compared with many predators. Their strength is in controlled movement and climbing. That means open areas and long ground travel are not ideal for them. They also rely heavily on a narrow diet. Bamboo is available in their habitat, but it's low energy, and red pandas can't easily switch to a completely different main food source if bamboo becomes scarce. That's a major limitation. Another limitation is flexibility in climate. Red pandas are adapted to cool forest conditions. Warm, open environments are not a good match for them. So the red panda is not weak, but it is limited. It has a narrow set of conditions where it performs well. Outside those conditions, it becomes vulnerable quickly. How does a red panda survive with those limits? The red panda survives by using a low-risk strategy that matches its environment. First, it stays in forest with tree cover and bamboo. That keeps food nearby and provides safe climbing routes. Second, it saves energy. Its daily routine is not built for constant action. It's built for steady feeding and long resting. Third, it avoids danger rather than confronting it. Trees are central here. When threatened, red pandas often retreat upward or move away quietly instead of fighting. Fighting is risky and expensive in energy, and injuries are a serious problem for an animal that depends on climbing. Red pandas also use scent marking and scent cues to reduce direct conflicts with others. Solitary living and territorial signals can help avoid unnecessary confrontations. In short, the red panda doesn't survive by overpowering the world. It survives by staying inside a narrow comfort zone where its strengths matter: cool forests, bamboo, climbing routes, and a calm daily rhythm. That strategy works well when the environment stays stable. The trouble starts when the environment changes faster than the animal can adapt. What is the red panda's false thumb actually for? Red pandas have a feature often called a false thumb. It's not a real extra finger. It's an enlarged wrist bone that functions like a thumb for gripping. This helps with feeding. Bamboo can be awkward to hold and strip. A stronger grip makes it easier to handle bamboo stems, pull leaves, and bite off shoots. Even small improvements in handling can matter when feeding takes up so much of the day. The false thumb also helps with climbing. Better grip and control make it easier to move on branches and maintain balance. Giant pandas also have a similar false thumb, even though they are not close relatives. This is usually explained as convergent evolution, meaning different animals developed similar tools because they faced similar problems. For the red panda, the false thumb is not a bonus feature. It's a practical tool that supports the two most important tasks in its life: feeding and moving safely in trees. Is a red panda actually related to the giant panda? This is one of the biggest myths. The red panda shares a name and a bamboo-heavy diet with the giant panda, but they are not close relatives. Many scientists place the red panda in its own family, called Ailuridae. It is the only living species in that family. The giant panda is placed with bears. That means the red panda is not a small panda or a red-colored version of the giant panda. So why do they seem similar? Bamboo creates similar problems for any animal that tries to live on it. Holding bamboo efficiently helps. Spending lots of time feeding helps. Even the false thumb appears in both species because it improves gripping. Similar challenges can lead to similar adaptations in different lineages. Understanding this changes how you see the red panda. It isn't a side character in the story of giant pandas. It is its own unique branch of mammal evolution, with its own set of survival rules. The red panda survives by living carefully. It stays in cool bamboo forests, spends much of its life feeding and resting, and avoids danger by climbing instead of fighting. It's not built for speed or flexibility. It's built for one specific kind of life. Here's the question I want your take on. If you could instantly give red pandas one upgrade, what would help them most? A higher energy diet, more connected forests, or better protection from human pressure? Drop your choice in the comments and tell us why. Please like the video and subscribe to learn more about animals.